Welcome crafters. I am Eloise with Paper Fire Studio. You may recognize me from some flip throughs, but you may not have recognized me from doing some crafting videos together. Well, that's going to change. I'm excited. I've had more people ask me, when are you going to do some craft with me's and some crafting videos together? Well, it's time. So I thought, well, let me start with something that I enjoy doing a lot of. And it's one of my favorite things to put in a journal. I put them on covers. I put them inside my journals. It's one of the things that makes my heart swoon. Let me show you. It is the world of snippets. I love them. I was trained to do them by different various mentors of mine. Robin Dudley Howes was one of them. Various others of you on YouTube were my teachers. I've kind of adapted them a little bit, but oh, I love them. I love them. And so I've kind of adapted them a little bit. And I wanted to take you through maybe a couple of ideas, a couple of things for you to consider the next time you do some snippets. First of all, let me kind of move these out of the way real quick, because maybe I've got a couple of ideas for you to maybe upgrade your snippets. A lot of you do your snippets out of a bin, and I am no different. I love my snippet bin. I have lots of laces, different, they're hand dyed, some with ink, some with coffee staining, different colors in here, some avocado dyed, some ink dyed, depending on what palette I'm working in. But I like the fact that I can just take this once I get everything cut up and ready to go. This can sit right next, my sewing machine is right to my left here, and you can't see it, but it's it'll sit right next to me on a little shelf, and I tilt it so I can peer in here and to be able to grab the pieces that I need to be able to just grab and sew. I sew my snippets together. And maybe the only difference, and something I can add to inspire your snippets, is the little addition that I make. I get a little tired of maybe just straight lace and maybe popping in some fabric, and I thought, what else could I do? So I had some strips of muslin, and I just stamped on them with archival ink out of some of my favorite stamps. And these I just cut up. Sometimes I can even use my pinking shears to get kind of a really fun edge on them. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. You know, just to get kind of a fun edge here on them. I may just pop these, cut them down closer to the image so they're not too big. You don't want them too big. And then, you know, stitch them over a snippet and add them in. You can see I cut that one in a circle, popped that one in there. But those kind of add something a little different. The black and white, you know, in your favorite little picture. These I love, the little croc. So there's an idea for you to maybe spruce up your snippets and get them to look just a little different. But that's not the idea that I wanted to share with you today. I don't know about you, But sometimes as artists, once we master an idea, and I say master it, once we do it, and we do it over and over and over and over and over again, we tend to get a little bored. I don't know about you, but I do. I get a little bored with it. You know, we can make, you know, a tuck spot with this. In fact, I've got, here's a journal that I'm currently working on. And I know that to cover my signatures, chances are, because I love snippet to cover the spine, I probably will put that on the spine just because I love the way it looks. I don't know yet how I'm going to do that, but that's a lot of the reason why I pulled the blue in, is because I wanted it to match that cover. But I looked at snippets and I thought, you know what? What else can we do with these? I mean, we're creative. That's what we do. So I was laying in bed one night. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of good ideas laying in bed at night. And I thought, I want to do something different. So the next day I came into my studio and I thought, all right, snippets, you're going down. We're doing something different. So I took my roll, and I don't know about you, but I love this muslin roll. I got this at the Austin Creative Reuse, which is a really cool store that you can donate your materials that maybe you're not using, and they will resell them. Of course, you can go in and buy. I think I bought this roll, and you can see how thick it is. I bought this roll, I think it was $1. Oh, and it's not real heavy muslin. It's perfect to do the backing on your snippets. Oh, it's great. Well, I looked at this roll and I thought, all right, I want to do a whole new way of sewing snippets. So here's what I did. I took my roll. Instead of going long ways, I cut it into a square. And I thought, all right, what could I do with that? Well, here's what I did. I started shaping my snippets very differently. And I did the same process. You can see it's the same stitching. You're laying your snippets the same way. And again, somebody may have already done this. Like, you all may be laughing and looking at this going, yeah, we did this 3 years ago. I don't know. But I've never seen snippets shaped in the size of this ragged looking square. I know there's raggedies out there, but I've never seen it looking like this. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. If we can do a square, I thought, well, okay, so here's our, let me move this out of the way. So here's our square. I designed this to take on the shape of a finished square. And then I thought, well, okay, what are we going to just do with this? I mean, yes, it could be a tuck spot, but could you write on the back of this? So I backed it with some tea-stained paper. Now again, let me pull my journal back out here. This could be used, I mean, look at, you know, I mean, you could use it for a zillion. You could, again, use it for your tuck spot. I was looking at, oh, where'd it go? I have a glassine Well, I thought I did in this signature. Maybe it's back in this one. In my glassine, there's the front part of that bag. But to look and maybe just tuck these in, and how pretty that they look through the bag. Maybe put a little tag on it so that you can pull these out. I just thought, oh my goodness, all of a sudden your snippets, where they used to be maybe stationary on the page, now they're jumping off of the page in removable snippet tucks that can be lifted off of the page. So there was an idea, and that to me got me thinking, well, all right, so here was one that I did, and I stopped kind of in process here to show you. I have my die cut machine is right behind me, and I have a die cut circle. I'm horrible at just drawing a circle and cutting it out. It looks horrid. So I use my die cut machine, and I have the die cut circles. So I cut out the snippet first, and instead of using the same die cut to die cut the tea stain paper, don't do that, because then you have to line it up exactly right to sew it. Don't do that. Just die cut your snippet out, and I'll do one here in a minute and show you. But die cut your snippet out first, then just take your tea stain paper, glue it to the back, and then stitch around it. So that way you don't have to make sure that your tea stain paper lines up with your circle. Because now all you have to do, once you've glued this together, you've stitched it on. Look, now all you got to do is finish cutting it. You don't have to make sure it's lined up, and you just cut around it and you're done. But look at how it looks as a round one. Look how pretty this one is. And again, you can journal on the back of that. This one, oh my goodness. This one, I was just, it's beautiful. Again, I did this is the one with the, let me see if you can see that there. The butterfly. This is an archival stamped on muslin. You can see it there. And again, takes you no time to do that. So now you've got, you could use a square one, you've got a circle one. So here's another one that I cut. Again, I started with this. I laid on all these pieces out of my snippet bin, just stitched around it like a wild woman. Edges are raggedy. Again, you could leave it like this, it's pretty. But if you wanted to do a shape, here's your die cut. Again, now here's an oval. Now, think about this for a minute. You could lay this anywhere on here as you look at how you want to cut this out. But let me suggest that you look at this from a perspective of how to get the most out of this square. I want to suggest, and I'm going to lay it just like this. Why? Because it saves me this strip at the top. And I'm going to show you what to do with this strip at the top in a minute. So let me turn around real quick and die cut this out. It'll take me 1 second. Hold on. You're going to hear me use my machine. It's right here. Just a second. All right. Well, here's what I wanted to show you. You're going to have to improvise a little bit because these are so thick. Now, if I went through this 2 or 3 more times, it would probably show a better cutting line here. But I just take my scissors now and I can see the line, and I'll just come through here and finish cutting this out. Again, not the best, but you can get the idea here. For those of you who have a die cut machine, use your die cuts. It'll cut your snippets. Come around here and oopsie. All right. Okay. So now you're going to take some tea stain paper. You're going to lay it on the paper and now stitch around the edge and trim it off, just like I showed you with that one. And now you've got a pretty oval one to use. So you got an oval, a circle, and a square. So there's your ideas on different things you can do with a snippet. But just like I showed you here, the reason you want to save this piece, let's trim this off. Because look what I made with just a little bit of scrap of that snippet. This is just a little notebook. A little bit of tracing paper at the top. I just stitched a little, just to jazz it up a little bit of lace. Again, some place to journal, little music paper. And again, we can set that in our journals. And how pretty is that? So again, it's exciting to see that snippets can go from what we originally had them as tuck spots, and they're gorgeous that way, and I love them that way. But you know what? Maybe it's time that we could jazz up our snippets and have them become something more. So the last thing though, and this one I kind of had some fun with, and of course I was going crazy because that's just me. So now we got an oval. Here's one more idea, and this one is a little bit painful. I realize it's a little painful, girls. I understand. And guys, for those of you, what if we took our snippet, and it's hard to do, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a little hard to do. Take your snippet and make a snippet out of the snippet. And you know what that means? You got to cut that up. You have to take that and cut it all into jagged pieces like this. Cut it up and make it into individual pieces. And it's hard because it's so pretty and you don't want to do it because it's already so pretty. But what if you could take these now and do something cool with these? So it's endless what you could do. I looked at this and I thought, oh my goodness, you could redesign this into a page tuck. I just made a little collage with 3 pieces that I cut up. I just laid them on top of each other, sewed them together again, And now you've got where you could make, let me move this over here, where you could make, again, another little page tuck, a little place to have a tag in there. And look how pretty that looks. It's just gorgeous. I was just stunned. If you've got the courage to cut up your snippets and put them back together in a different way, it's endless. It's endless how cool these could look. So, my challenge today is to, what if we're going to take our snippets and move them from this to this to this, maybe to this, or maybe even to this. All right, I'm all snippet out for today, but I've enjoyed starting crafting with me, with you. So for now, it's paper fire, it's fun, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, it's been fun.